On October 3rd, 2021, Whatever Marco beat Minecraft version 1.7 in 19 minutes and 45 seconds. This was only the second time someone had beaten the game in under 20 minutes in the pre-version 1.9 category, and it was a world record that would prove extremely hard to beat. Over the next 5 months, runners would time and time again be on world record pace. But in that same span, there was only one completed run in under 20 minutes. Spinnaker's second place completion of 19 minutes and 54 seconds. But on March 8th, 2022, a monumental run would take place, as not only was a new world record set, but Marco's time was demolished with a cut of about 25 seconds. But not only was this a massive world record after a long wait, but it's one of the weirdest world records we've ever seen. Not just in the version, but in all of Minecraft speedrunning. New and obscure strategies, aggressive top-tier gameplay, incredible strokes of luck. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this is arguably the craziest Minecraft world record in recent memory. This is Teddiursa's 1919. Even prior to his world record, Teddiursa was one of the most underrated players in Minecraft speedrunning. He's been running since the summer of 2020, and recently, he's reached a new level of eliteness in the game. One of the best measures of a Minecraft speedrunner's overall skill, at least when it comes to random seed speedrunning, is combined RSG, which combines a runner's personal best in each of the 3 main version categories: pre-1.9, 1.9 through 1.15, and 1.16 plus. Before his world record, Teddy was 9th in the world in combined RSG. His 174th place time in 1.16 is impressive, but nothing crazy. But his 1828 is good enough for 15th in the world in 1.9 through 1.15. And pre-1.9, as you might have guessed, is his specialty. Before this run, his 2028 was 6th in the world, just 43 seconds slower than the world record. But those were 43 seconds that Teddy knew he had the ability to make up, and on March 8th, he would do just that. And then some. Let's take a look at this world record. In the pre-1.9 category, there are 2 sub-versions that runners play on that are viable for the world record: 1.7 and 1.8. There are several small differences between the 2 versions, but both have their merits. Of the 4 sub-20s prior to this run, 3 were in 1.7, and 1, in Fume's former world record of 1958, was in 1.8. Being the versatile runner that he is, Teddy has already gotten top-level runs on both 1.8 and 1.7, including a top 10 pre-1.9 time in version 1.8 back in October. But he now mains 1.7, as that's what he played in his personal best, and that's what he's playing now. Teddy flips through his multiple instances of Minecraft looking for a desert spawn. He finds one, and starts running around to see what else is nearby. The basic structure of pre-1.9 runs involves runners gathering a variety of materials in the overworld, going to the nether and getting blaze rods, returning to the overworld and collecting ender pearls during the night, then traveling to the Stronghold and going to the end to kill the dragon. He quickly spots a village with a blacksmith, which can speed up the process of getting those materials. The blacksmith has 5 iron, which he'll use to make a bucket and shears, meaning he can skip the major step of mining for iron in a cave and smelting it in a furnace. He also gets an iron sword and boots as a little treat. He can also gather food much more quickly by grabbing carrots from the village farm instead of killing animals one by one. Notably, Teddy only grabs 1 row of carrots before moving on from the village. He's an aggressive player, one who's willing to take risks like grabbing less food in order to save increments of time. This is going to come up again later. Teddy eats some carrots to restore his hunger while mining wood. Yes, this is something you can do in 1.7. He makes himself a set of stone tools and grabs more wood while using his newly minted shears to insta-mine a ton of leaf blocks. This is essential to pre-1.9 runs, as runners need a ton of blocks to build the tower they use when getting ender pearls, and grabbing leaves with shears is the fastest and most convenient way to do it. Teddy crafts a bucket, which he'll use to make his nether portal, and takes advantage of the other use of the shears, getting wool from sheep. He'll use the wool to make beds, which he'll use to fight the dragon in the end. Making one last stop, he digs up about 16 blocks of gravel, which he can gradually convert into flint over the course of the run, as gravel has a 1 in 10 chance of dropping flint when broken. He'll use the flint in combination with any feathers he can get from killing chickens to craft arrows, which will also help him fight the dragon. Like I said, it's a wide variety of resources players gather at the beginning of these runs, and with all this acquired, Teddy is already almost 4 minutes into the run as he looks for a lava pool which he can build a nether portal out of. He quickly finds one and sets up the portal build cleanly when this happens. If you're wondering why this happened, well, Minecraft is a buggy game, and it used to be a lot buggier. Basically, the Minecraft gods decided to f**k with him. Teddy has to go searching for a new lava pool, and luckily he finds one quickly, but still, he's entering the nether about 45 seconds slower than he would have without this glitch. This doesn't mean that the run would have been 45 seconds faster. The amount of time this lost is a lot more complicated than that, but in the meantime, Teddy finishes his portal, and because he only has 5 iron and is unable to make a flint and steel, he'll use a strategy called wood lighting, or in this case, leaf lighting, where he uses flammable blocks to spread fire from the lava into the base of the nether portal. While he waits for this, he kills nearby chickens to gather feathers. When all's said and done, he's entering the nether at 5 minutes and 50 seconds in-game time, which, while not awful, is over a minute slower than Marco's world record. And in a category this tight, a minute is a big gap. Things start looking up though when Teddy spawns right next to a nether fortress, and even better, with a blaze spawner in sight. He builds up to the blaze spawner and kills the first blaze that spawns. Blaze rods have a 50% drop rate, and while the first blaze does drop a rod, it falls off the edge of the fortress, so Teddy remembers where it is and goes to fight the other blazes. To make things even better, there's a second blaze spawner right next to the first one, meaning Teddy has to spend almost no time waiting for blazes to spawn. In the time that he is waiting, he task overlaps by crafting his beds and some ladders, which he'll need to build his Enderman tower later on. Between the two spawners, 5 of the 6 blazes he kills drop blaze rods, and added to the one that fell off the fortress, he's got all 6 blaze rods he came to get. Even as he's running out of the nether, Teddy continues to task overlap by mining gravel as he runs. This makes him move a bit slower, but it's far more efficient than stopping totally to mine the gravel, and it's a task he needs to complete some way or another. So, just like that, Teddy is out of the nether with an amazing nether split of 2 minutes and 7 seconds, which is a minute and 11 seconds faster than Marco's split in his former world record. Teddy's next step is to build his Enderman tower, which is where the complicated time mechanics of the run come in. A vital step of building any tower in pre-1.9, regardless of the specific design, is using a bed to set your spawn point at the top of the tower. Nowadays, you can do this at any time of day, but in older versions, you had to actually be able to start sleeping in order to set your spawn. The period where this is possible starts at around 10 minutes and 25 seconds into a world, meaning runners are pace-locked to finish building to the top of their tower at this time. If they got there any sooner, they'd have to waste time just standing there waiting for night to start. This isn't a problem most runners will have, as a perfect or near-perfect tower finish is still quite rare, but it has happened many times, including in Marco's former world record that Teddy is trying to beat. Because Teddy quickly reaches terrain that's suitable to build his tower on, he's actually ahead of schedule, and he's come prepared to make use of his extra time. Remember all those leaves he's filled his inventory up with? Well, one step in a modern Enderman tower is, after the runner has built the tower and set their spawn at the top, digging a deep hole beneath the tower, where Endermen will fall and die from fall damage as their ender pearls accumulate at the bottom. The thing about those leaves is that Teddy can break them very quickly, much faster than he can mine stone. So, in his free time, Teddy starts digging this hole, and when he's out of time, he'll build back up with leaves. After building the actual tower, when he has to dig down later, instead of mining through stone, he can insta-mine through leaves, saving him tons of time. Essentially, because he's pace-locked by nightfall, he can front-load the digging of the hole. However, the challenge comes in timing this out so that he still reaches the top of his tower on perfect pace. He won't have time to dig and rebuild back up the entire hole, but Teddy knows the timing well, and he nails it, not losing a single second from this strategy. The tower Teddy uses in this run is called the One Block Tower, a newer tower variation created by Chaos and SharpieMan20, two pre-1.9 strat developers who have been essential to the community. Teddy digs the rest of the way to the bottom of the hole, then, because he has no flint and steel, has to use sand to suffocate himself. This is very risky, because any items that are in his inventory at the moment of death could be pushed through blocks into nearby caves, where Teddy will have no way to get them. Any items that he throws out before he dies will stay in the hole, so Teddy has to frantically spam drop important items out of his inventory while he suffocates. He can eyeball his success, but he'll have to wait until later to find out what he kept and lost, because now it's time to kill Enderman. The way to do this is simple. Teddy drops down the tower, catches himself on a ladder, and looks at any Endermen nearby. Once they're angry at him, the Endermen will try to reach him, but be unable to teleport onto his leaf blocks, and so they'll fall into his hole and plummet to their deaths. Teddy will kill himself and respawn very high in the air, which in earlier versions causes all mobs to despawn and new ones to spawn in, which means when he drops down, there will be fresh Endermen waiting for him. But the Ender Pearls at the bottom of the hole will still be there. Teddy gets good Enderman spawn rates, with 19 Endermen falling down the hole in 10 death cycles. Ender Pearls drop 50% of the time, and like with Blaze Powder, Teddy's goal is to get 12. However, Teddy is an aggressive player, and after killing 19 Endermen, he decides to leave his tower without even checking how many Ender Pearls he has first. He takes his bed and resets his spawn at the bottom of the tower, then drops down the hole, killing himself, and uses his invincibility frames to drop down again without dying and collect his items. At the bottom of the hole, he finds that the game has rewarded him with 12 Ender Pearls from the 19 Endermen killed. Not only that, but he's managed to avoid losing anything he needs for the rest of the run to caves, so Teddy's good to go. This aggressiveness was warranted, as Teddy got good spawn rates, but not great spawn rates, which Marco did, so Teddy's leaving his tower suddenly over a minute behind Marco's pace. But as crazy as this run has been, the craziest parts are yet to come. Teddy crafts his Eyes of Ender and throws one, then starts heading for the Stronghold. He kills 2 spiders along the way in order to craft a bow for the end, and after running about 130 blocks, he decides to throw a second eye. Incredibly, the eye goes down, which means Teddy is right on top of the Stronghold. Not only was his Stronghold super close by, but he happened to throw an eye right on top of it, meaning he doesn't have to spend time triangulating the exact location. Suddenly, Teddy is on amazing pace. He digs down for the Stronghold at 16 minutes and 10 seconds, with Marco's 1945 a very beatable target. In pre 1.9, Eyes of Ender point to the portal room, meaning Teddy doesn't have to navigate the Stronghold either. But as well as things are going, there is one small problem. Remember how Teddy only grabbed 1 row of carrots from the village? Well, in earlier versions, you burn through your food much more quickly, and those carrots have run out, leaving Teddy with only 4 raw chicken for the rest of the run. Even worse, he's about to take on the end fight, which is difficult to survive even with food. And worse than that, his water bucket was one of the items that shot off into a cave at the tower. So if Teddy even once catches on fire during the end fight, which is a common occurrence as he's literally playing with fire, he'll have no way to put himself out, and with no real food left, no way to heal. Basically, this end fight is going to be incredibly difficult to survive. Teddy digs down, waiting to hit the portal room, but when he reaches the Stronghold, he's not in the portal room. He's in a hallway with a chest. And in that chest, amazingly, is an item that has just a 2.5% chance of generating. But it's the exact item Teddy needs to save this run, a golden apple. He snags it and digs down into the portal room directly beneath him. Because this hallway happened to generate right above the portal room, and because it had a chest, and because that chest had a golden apple, this end fight suddenly looks a lot more doable. The second Eye of Ender that Teddy threw broke, so he only has 11 eyes, but the portal is a 2-eye, so he's able to enter the end with 1 pearl left over, which he'll use to teleport to the main end island. He's into the end at 17 minutes and 26 seconds, 48 seconds ahead of Marco, with a world record in clear sight. All that's left is the dragon. Teddy pearls to the middle, eats his golden apple, and gets right to work shooting down the healing crystals near the dragon. He doesn't have many arrows, but luckily, his aim is fantastic. He hits 3 crystals in 3 shots right off the bat. Even better, the dragon flies right past the second crystal as Teddy shoots it, allowing the explosion to deal the dragon a ton of damage. Immediately after another crystal, the dragon charges at Teddy, where he blows up a bed to bring it all the way down to half health just 20 seconds after entering the end. For reference, Marco's end split in his world record is 90 seconds, so Teddy is off to a great start. After missing one arrow, Teddy takes down 2 more crystals, each time dealing a little bit of damage to the dragon. There's only so much he can do with arrows though, and Teddy is still going to be dependent on the dragon charging at him to finish the end fight. After flying away and taking a wide angle, the dragon charges Teddy a second time, where Teddy slightly mistimes his bed explosion and deals suboptimal damage. The dragon immediately turns around and charges again, but it comes in at too steep of an angle for Teddy to do anything. The dragon decides to take a little hiatus at this point, as Teddy shoots it 3 different times, but it still ignores him, flying around the end. Suddenly, the timer is approaching the 19-minute barrier, and what was a very likely world record is again in doubt. The dragon charges at Teddy a 4th time, and he fumbles a little bit on the setup, putting himself in a scary position. But with a world record on the line, Teddy's instincts kick in, and he clutches up the bed, not only placing it and blowing it up successfully without hurting himself, but also dealing a ton of damage to the dragon. Now, the dragon is just 1 good bed away from death, and Teddy doesn't have to wait long for his chance to end it, as the dragon charges again. After years of speedrunning Minecraft and a rise to the elite level of pre-1.9 runners, Teddy has the one thing that every speedrunner wants most on the line. All he has to do is clutch up with this last bed. Once again, a huge congrats to Teddy for getting this crazy world record, and be sure to show him some support if you made it to the end of the video. His channel is in the description. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, remember to drop a like and leave a comment. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to hit the sub button for plenty more videos like this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.